That's a classic playoff game to me right there.
My fire alarm's going off.
Well, you better get the hell out.
Boys, that's the show. Welcome into Monkey Knife Fight's preview show of the wild card weekend. A week later than usually, Joe. But hey, it's the new season, new schedule, and we're happy to be back after a bit of a 10-day hiatus. Joe, how you been?
I'm doing all right. I'm trying to figure out today's Wordle. It's a tough one, and I'm thinking there's a double letter involved somewhere in here. That's got to be throwing me off. I'll be honest with you. So I'm trying to figure it out while we're on air. I'm trying to figure out the MKF. If Dolan gets this in anywhere before 6 guesses, I'll be surprised. So it's the more or less is 5.5 guesses for this one for Dolan.
Well, let's start with first game on tap this weekend. You got the Vegas Raiders. Man, what a story coming in. The kicker, Dan Carlson, getting it done, sending them through to the playoffs. And one thing to note that's just hilarious about this, just following along on Twitter, he's received donations from Steelers fans for his charity for making that kick. And he's gone on and to thank the Steelers on Twitter and to thank their fan base.
That's a nice little thing there. I think that
a good little story coming out of some tragic heartbreak around the NFL and some good, people are winning money obviously with the bet side, but legit charity work being done. A little philanthropy on a Monday morning.
I think one of the things that happened a couple years ago is remember when the Bengals on the last play of the season scored a touchdown to put the Bills in the playoffs. I think the same thing happened with Andy Dalton. So yeah, always good to see when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, a little correlation across the league and good work being done. But let's get into some good work here on Monkey Knife Fight, Joe, with those aforementioned Vegas Raiders and those aforementioned Bengals that you were just talking about. Two teams that are very much so going to provide fun football, I think is what it could be. This game could be very interesting. We'll use that word. Looking at the Raiders, obviously you have Derek Carr, you have Hunter Renfrow. To start things off, I'm going more on Hunter Renfrow's reception line. The way that guy gets off the line of scrimmage, I think he's the best route runner in the NFL right now. Just the way he releases from the line and he does not just a double move, but a triple move to get open. It's the way he gets open for his size in the red zone is something that I haven't really seen since the days of Wes Welker when Tom Brady was really forcing the ball to Welker. And Renfro's getting open in those situations and Carr's finding him. So I'm going to take the more on the Hunter Renfro side. Derek Carr is a tough matchup against a pretty solid Bengals defense. I think they're going to lean on the run game. This line opened at 255 down to 250.5. I'm going to take the less on it.
Yeah, so we're looking at Hunter Renfrow, by the way. He's caught more than 6 passes in just one of his last 4 games. In his last game, he scored 2 touchdowns. He's actually been scoring more touchdowns than he has been catching balls for fantasy. And in his last game against the Bengals, he had 4 catches for 30 yards. These two teams played back in week 11. Darren Waller comes back last week and actually leads the Raiders in targets. It is a tough matchup with Mike Hilton, the slot receiver the slot corner for the Bengals. However, Mike Hilton has given up because he's a full-time slot player, 54 catches this year. That is 3rd most in the slot per PFF. I think I'm going to take the more on Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to take the less on Derek Carr.
Yeah, well, we're aligned to start. And then on the other side of the football, you got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I don't know how Jamar Chase isn't the offensive rookie of the year this year. Pretty spectacular numbers. I'm going to have to take the more on both of these guys. Vegas pass defense last week. I mean, Herbert was able to get them. Herbert's got great weapons around him, but I think Joe Burrow is a Herbert that wins football games. I think both guys are good young quarterbacks, but the difference is Joe Burrow is a proven winner. So I'm going to take more on Joe Burrow and more on Jamar Chase as I think they hook up a couple times. And Jamar Chase, realistically, with the way Burrow uses him down the field, could get that in one deep shot.
Yeah,
so
he could.
I'm going to take more in the more.
It's a tough matchup, though. So I'm going to take more on. No, I'll take more and more as well. Mm-hmm. But it is a tough matchup. I will tell you, I'm interested to see what T. Higgins' line for this game is because he's the guy I like the best.
And well, before we look at T. Higgins, Joe, what do you think of Joe Mixon? You guys share the same name of the brethren, the Joey brethren here. What does the Brethren Joe do? I'm going to go with the less on the rushing line, as I think it's more the receiving yards coming out of the backfield. And as I said, I think Burrow is going to go more. So I think passing the ball and pushing it downfield against this Raiders defense is going to be the key.
Mixon actually ran for 123 and 2 touchdowns when these two teams played back in late November. But I am going to take the less because I do think it's going to be the passing game for the Bengals.
Yeah, I did. No worries. I'll be Hunter Renfrow. I'll catch some touchdowns.
Go on, Connor. I'll drop the lines in the chat, so it's easy.
Yeah, perfect. T. Higgins coming in at 69.5. Thank you there, Jason.
It's a little higher than I thought, but I'll still take
higher than you thought. You're still going to go with the more there.
Yeah, because I actually think he leads the Bengals in receiving in this game. You got Casey Hayward occupying his time with Chase. You've got Nate Hobbs occupying his time with who, by the way, I'm shocked the Raiders let him play last week. But winning is everything. With
recording in progress
with Tyler Boyd. So
recording stopped.
I am going to go with the more for T. Higgins.
Yeah, well, let's move on now. A little Saturday night's all right for fighting, as Lord Elton John would say. Sir Elton John. Patriots versus Bills. Mac Jones, 195.5 rush yards. Or pass yards, pardon me. That seems low, but let's just remember. Last time these two teams played each other in Buffalo, New England passed the ball thrice.
I mean, it was the weather was awful. Now, by the way, the weather is supposed to be frigid in this game. In games under 30 degrees, Josh Allen has struggled. Josh Allen has said, he literally came out this week and said, "Oh my God, the circulation, my circulation isn't great." So, but Mac Jones, I agree with you, Connor. I'm going to take the less here on Mac Jones.
I'm actually going to take less on both quarterbacks. I was actually looking at the weather too because of what a factor that played in Buffalo. And I think you really nailed it. Josh Allen, the last time we saw these two teams play in Buffalo was Bill Belichick was able to scheme to take away Stephon Diggs on those underneath routes, and Allen really couldn't push it down the field in that wind. And it's hard to catch a ball in the cold. I played receiver up here in Canada. It is like cold games suck to catch pigskin. I don't know if anyone else has ever done that. But I don't have much faith in
the Bills receivers were literally talking about that just this week.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that doesn't give me too much confidence. Give me the less on Stephon Diggs because of that. 6 receptions. I know he's going to be the number one target, but Cole Beasley, you got other guys in there as well. So I'm going to take less on Stephon Diggs there. And obviously Evans has been huge, or Davis, pardon me, Gabriel Davis has been huge in these last couple of weeks here, winding down the season in Buffalo. Devin Singletary, 63.5 yards. Now, based on the projected game script, I feel like he's going to have to get more than that for the Bills to be competitive in this game. The question is, does he? Or is it Zach Moss getting some looks? I'm going to still take the less on Devin Singletary, although he has been effective as of late.
I'm taking more on both the running backs here. Harris is a little more concerning to me because of the hamstring injury, but I don't think it's going to be the exact same game these two teams played the last time by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, since then, Devin Singletary has emerged as a legitimate rushing option. Even a few weeks ago when these two teams played, Devin Singletary was not a huge factor. He had just 10 carries for 36 yards. But here are his last 4 games: 22 carries, 12 carries, 23 carries, 19 carries.
Mm-hmm. Well, he helped me win my fantasy championship. That's what I was alluding to. He had a really good, strong end of the season. But again, there's something about Bill Belichick and being able to take away that top option. He's going to know that Singletary's firing. If it's a cold game, I think, it's going to be tough sledding out there. But I will take more on the Harris line, as I think New England's going to have more success rushing the football. And as I said, less on Stephon Diggs because I just don't trust cold weather.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a run first kind of game for these teams.
Eagles and Buccaneers. They're going at it on Sunday afternoon. Jalen Hurts, 209.5 passing yards, 50.5 rushing yards. Something to note that the Buccaneers have been susceptible to the rushing quarterback this season. So I will actually take more on the 50.5 yards rushing from Jalen Hurts. But man, that Buccaneers pass defense is good, and I don't think Hurts has the ability to go for 210 passing yards. So I'm going to go with the less on that.
I actually think their pass defense is a bigger weakness than their run defense, meaning neither is a weakness, but their run defense is a strength. When these two teams, this was like the Eagles. Really, when these two teams played back in week 6, this was their second to last game where they didn't have a meaningful run game. Miles Sanders, I mean, thinking of what the Eagles are doing now, it's like unfathomable to think of. The Eagles handed the ball to a running back just 9 times in their last game against the Buccaneers, all of them to Miles Sanders. There is supposed to be weather in this game, wind and rain. I am definitely taking the less on Jalen Hurts's passing yards, but his rushing yards, I'm going to take the more. I think the Eagles are just going to try to sloppy this game up, make it sloppy. Their defense has been playing well. I know it's been against some quarterbacks who, frankly, just haven't been very good. I'm also not reading into what happened to them last week against the Cowboys. They had 3rd and 4th stringers out there. Like, I don't care that Dak Prescott threw for 5 touchdowns. So, but I do think the Eagles are going to play the game that they have played the last 2 months, as opposed to what they played the first time these two teams played all the way back in week 6. More for Jalen Hurts rushing yards, less receiving yards.
I'm
passing yards, rather.
I'm completely with you on that point, and that's why I did the exact same numbers. And something to note too is the Buccaneers rank bottom 10 in QB rushing yards given up this season. They have been susceptible to the rushing quarterback. So that's a really sweet spot with the 50.5 yards, I think, for Jalen Hurts. As for Tom Brady, Joe just said the weather's not going to be great, and 300 yards is going to be tough to push the ball, especially when you have playoff Lenny. Give me less on Brady, more on Fournette.
Yeah, less on Brady, more on Fournette.
I know that Fournette's banged up, but I do not bet against playoff Lenny. I will not bet against playoff.
Less on Brady, more on Fournette, and I think less on Mike Evans. You know, he's a little dinged up as well, and Darius Slay's been as good as any corner in the NFL this year, which is why I'm going to take the more on Rob Gronkowski. I think Brady's going to try to find his boy across the middle.
Yeah, I think Gronk's, I think that 5, honestly, I wish it was 4.5 receptions, and then I would really like that Gronk line. I'm going with the less with Evans as well. Gronk, oh, man. If Brady's going to be throwing the ball in that red zone, and that's where Fournette's going to just get those tough yards down the field, Brady open up that pass game in the red zone. That's where Gronk comes in. I'll agree with you, Joe, and I'll take the more on Rob Gronkowski. That's why they brought him in, to make those big plays. Later on Sunday, the 49ers are taking on the Cowboys in Dallas. This game is going to be awesome. This is my game of the week. I think this one is closely contested between two awesome people. Like, just great football all around. Let's open it up with Jimmy G first here. He's got Deebo Samuel as his top guy. Jimmy G, 260.5. Deebo Samuel, 69.5. I'm going more and more on both of those guys.
Yeah, the receiving yards is what makes it tough for Deebo, because he's been doing it so much as a runner. But, you know, let's just take a step back to this game. I know Dallas lost to Arizona 2 weeks ago, but if I'm Dallas, I feel like I'd rather play the 5 seed Arizona than the 6 seed San Francisco right now. I think San Francisco's live, man. I think that's a live dog.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. They've looked really good the last couple of weeks going into the season, or to end the season, pardon me. And they were in some trouble in that last week, you know, to really go out there and win and clinch that playoff seed. And they went out there and still got it done. So the Niners are 18-1 to win the NFC. That's actually not a bad little spot there. Thanks, Jason, for that. But as I said,
it was 18-1 heading into week 18, where I don't think their playoff was guaranteed.
No, it wasn't. I mean, and they were down 17-0 in that game.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it was when they were down 17-0.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying, right?
It was like 14-1 now to win the NFC in the playoffs.
Yeah, they either needed to lose and get a Saints loss to get in, or just flat out win. And it looked like they were going to need that Saints loss, Joe. And that's what I was saying. That big comeback last week to go on and get themselves into the playoffs. And Dallas pass defense, man, they have not been. I don't know. I saw what Kyler Murray was able to do. I'm gonna take more on Jimmy G. I'm gonna take more on Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I'm gonna take more on both of those guys as well. I'm going to take more on Elijah Mitchell. I feel like the guys get the ball on this team who get the ball. The thing that worries me for Dallas, and I know their offensive line is good, San Francisco's front seven took that game over against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no rushing props for Dallas, but if there were rushing props here, I'd probably lean to the less on the rushing props, but I think I'm going to take slightly less on Dak Prescott as well.
Yeah, I'll go with the less on Dak Prescott, but Amari Cooper, a gamer in this situation, I'm going to have to go with the more there. I know CeeDee Lamb has really come forth in that as the number one guy in Dallas, but I think when the going gets tough, Dak has turned to Amari Cooper in those situations, and this is going to be a lot of smash mouth football. So I'm going to go with the more with Cooper there. Joe, what are you thinking for Cooper?
For Cooper, I think I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the more. I'm going to go with the more on this.
We are aligned today. The stars are aligning between Joe and I. Haven't seen each other in a while. I guess everything's meshing. We're going to ride with the more with all those San Francisco players that you see on the screen as well.
Just got it, boys. All right.
What was it?
I can't say it. Oh, man. I was down. I had just 2 letters right on my 5th guess, and I got it on my 6th.
Attaboy.
Shout out to the more betters. Shout out to the more betters.
Steelers.
Yeah, I did get it on my 6th, yeah.
Steelers are playing the Chiefs. Last game of the wild card weekend. Man, I mean, it's awesome that the Steelers were able to get into the playoffs for the Ben Roethlisberger story. We talked about how they make a donation.
Wait. Garoppolo, Samuel Mitchell, what do we pick? I'm sorry.
We pick more.
More.
Like Billy.
Why
did I ask?
Rebel yell.
That's like the 3rd time we've done that this year.
Yeah, it's happened a lot. But hey, still love it. In the rebel yell. More. Yeah, it's fun. We're having fun. Pat Mahomes, Ben Roethlisberger. Okay, I just gotta say it. Like as I was saying, I'm happy the Steelers got in. It's a great story, but good God, is it painful to watch Ben Roethlisberger?
Oh, dude, it is so bad. And I mean, like, it's a great story. Like, I mean, like,
I'd rather watch
it was dry. It was so dramatic to see everything that happened. But did you see that 4th down throw that he actually completed to Ray McLeod across the middle? And everything's across the middle for the Steelers these days. But it's a 10-yard throw, and I didn't know it was possible to lazily drop a ball 10 yards. But Ben Roethlisberger, it's just like
it looks like he's moving
Doug when you were growing up? You ever watch Doug, the Nicktoon Doug? When a flowering Doug would wilt, it would just go like, ew. Like that's what that throw sounded like when it was going to Ray McLeod. Yeah, like it was really bad, man. It was awful.
Yeah, I mean, it's time for Ben to hang him up, and I don't see them getting past the Chiefs at Arrowhead this weekend. I'm gonna have to take the less on Ben Roethlisberger's line.
Don't worry, neither does Ben, who said yesterday, we're 20 point dogs.
We don't have a chance. I think what he was saying was like, now my read on the situation, I haven't come out and actually watched the press conference, but my read on the situation was him saying, well, we don't have a chance. So, kind of, poking fun. And I don't think they do have a chance, but less for Ben, man. His arm is totally shot. Is there a part of Ben who's like, God damn it, I actually have to play this game?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that coming to life. There's obviously a chance I could win one more Super Bowl, but it's not going to be easy to get there. Najee Harris, just based off the game script, I'm going to take more on it. I said it a few weeks ago on this show that I really like the way that guy runs. Joe, he had a pretty good game that time that we talked about that after we both panned him. Goodness gracious.
I know.
I'm taking the more on Najee, and you're not changing.
I want to say this about Najee. Like, first and foremost, it feels like he's gotten better the last couple weeks, but he's playing through an elbow injury. But that guy, there's a lot you can say about his rookie season. Oh, they shouldn't have drafted him. Like, oh, he's a first-round running back. The Jesus Christ himself could descend from heaven, and people would say you can't draft him as a first-round running back. So Najee Harris, you can say all that stuff. You can say, oh, he's been kind of more of like a 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of guy. And I think all that's true. But then I still watch it and I'm like, man, where would this team be without him? Because he is tough as nails.
Mm-hmm. Like he's taken over 300 hits this year as a rookie.
Yeah, get him a better offensive line and a better quarterback next year. More for Najee Harris. I think they're going to give him the ball in this one as much as he can handle.
Yeah, exactly. And then as for that Chiefs offense, you know what? I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes in primetime football in the playoffs. I'll take the more. Travis Kelce's just such a gamer. Banged up or not in these situations, Kelce steps up. I'm going to take more on him. But Hill, I know you can do that in one play,
multiple injuries, man.
Hill's the one I'm going to take
him
less on. I got to take less on Hill because of the injuries. But with the Travis Kelce injury, I think Kelce's going to go and play through that. So I'm taking more on Travis Kelce. I think he's going to be Mahomes guy with the more as well.
Mahomes more, Kelce more, Hill less. We're in lockstep here. You just got to make.
I don't think there was one thing we disagreed on through those. What did we just do? 5 games, 4 games, 5 games, 5 games. Wow.
There might have been something. I'm not sure. I don't know, but
I think
we're in lockstep here.
Yeah, we got to go back and watch the game tape there. What are you most looking forward to going into Wild Card Weekend, Mr. Joe Dolan?
I think I'm looking very much forward to the 49ers Cowboys game above all, and the Patriots Bills. I kind of want to. That's a classic playoff game to me right there.
My fire alarm's going off.
Well, you better get the hell out,
boys. That's the show.
All right.
I gotta go. My building's burning down. I think, you know what? Like my condo about to burn down. I think that Niners Cowboys game is going to be a barn burner. I think it's going to be the game of the week. If I get to see you guys again, great. If not, it's been awesome knowing you.
I mean, you go out doing what you love, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. But seriously, I do really like that Niners-Cowboys game. I think that Pats-Bills game, I'm right with you, Joe. That's going to be awesome. But, I got to go before we die. Folks, I'm Connor Rowntree. That's Joe Dolan. Monkey Knife Fights preview show of the Wild Card Weekend. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And remember to hit it hard. We'll see you next time if I survive.